that there is an art of living joyously and fully. And it requires thinking rightly. Thinking rightly. We can get so bogged down with thinking of the lesser, what's not right, what needs to be corrected, what so-and-so said or did or whatever, that we really, we're not living the way I believe we were intended to, the way God created us to live, full of joy, full of God life. So, as I said, it requires thinking rightly, loving, and seeing realistically. When I say seeing realistically, oftentimes we need to look through the appearance to see the good, to see God in action. Because if we have a problem, a challenge in our life or in our affairs or our body temple, so often that's all we see. We do not look beyond that to know that God is at work, that there is the presence of God there. There is a loving presence, okay, regardless what the situation may be. So, and when I say that we need to live righteously, I'm not saying to ignore a challenge, okay, something that comes up in our life and affairs, because it's those very things, those challenges that come up that cause us to grow and unfold. I have to be honest. Sometimes I think, enough already. Enough already. I don't need any more. Yeah, right. So we don't adjust to weakness and limitation and lack and all that. We don't adjust to that, but we heal it and move upward, move forward, move upward and forward. It takes the presence to know the presence of God as a reality. And when we talk about see the reality of something, that's what I'm saying. To see, we don't really see God, but we can see God in action. We can see an unfoldment. We can see something going on that's good. And as so very often here, I talk about how that what we think on grows, okay? And I don't think I can say that enough, because it's so important for us to understand what we pay our attention to, what we zero in on, and what we hold in consciousness, we get more of the same. So if it is lack, limitation, the negative, I'm not going to go through all the negatives. You know what I'm talking about. If we hold that in consciousness, what we find and what we draw to us is more the same, because we have choices to make. I teach, as most of you know, a Wednesday evening class. Last week was on thinking. The title of it, Lessons in Truth, on thinking. And so, when we think, we're on a conscious level. When we're thinking, things come to us. Ideas come to us. We are constantly thinking and making choices, whether we're aware of it or not. But once we become aware that we're making choices all the time, sometimes they're unwise choices. Sometimes we take into the conscious mind things that we don't want to experience. I always say, in our sane mind, we don't want to experience lack, limitation, and et cetera. We want to be free. We want to be a radiant expression of God life. So it doesn't stay in the conscious mind; it moves to the subconscious, and there is where we find so often the lack, limitation, and the untruth. So the reality of our being is that God created us. God created us whole. God created us free. God made a beautiful creation, and we're His highest creation. Okay, the human, this us, the highest creation. Okay, so life is for living, and life is lived from within out. From within out. And sometimes we get that backwards. We live from what we hear, see, whatever, from out here in. We live from here because God indwells His universe. There's an indwelling presence within all of us. Okay? And from that loving presence is where we should be looking for answers, finding those answers. So we live from within out. The whole purpose of life, I believe it was Browning that said, to open out a way whence the imprisoned splendor may express. Because we are a spiritual being. And this beautiful, beautiful part of us that we have the opportunity to express, or as Jesus said, sometimes we put our light under a bushel basket. Okay? We put that part of us that is whole and free and beautiful and whatever under a bushel basket. Because all we can see is the negative, is the lesser. There's so much more. There is so much more. And we all go through those valleys. We all go through the Jackie, thank you. Thank you. You know, this is a Can I say something, Judy? This is kind of a running joke, okay? Judy comes early in the morning by 9:30 to open up, okay? Turn lights on, put the heat up or the air conditioner, whatever needs to be done, pick up the mail, etc., etc. Change diaper, so on and so forth, and bring water. And bring water. She usually brings for me and for the soloist and also for Jackie. So every once in a while, and then she teaches a class. You know, she just isn't sitting daydreaming. She teaches a class after she runs around the church opening. So anyway, every once in a while she forgets. And so there's been a time or two when she's kind of forgotten that I've stood up here and went like this. And then she runs downstairs. So when I do that, you know that it's a signal, okay? So I didn't do it today. I thought it's okay, but thank you, Jackie. Okay. I love it. We do have fun here. We really, truly do have fun. But anyway, I have my water now. I'll try to drink the whole glass. Anyway, sometimes we have feel a restlessness. Have you ever felt that? Particularly when we're going through a challenge. And I did say going through. I didn't say making camp. I didn't say staying. I say going through a challenge. We have a feeling of restlessness. And I've heard many unity speakers say, and I believe it, I do accept this, that it is a restlessness, the urge to get away from the challenge, to get away from the problem. Anybody ever had that feeling? Oh, yeah. We call it divine discontent. Divine discontent. Where? Wherever we go, we're going to take that challenge with us, okay? And we're smart enough to know that. We're going to take because we hold it in our consciousness, all right? So we need, when I say divine discontent, it's an urge from an ever inner level to seek a higher level, okay? To seek, not to run away from the problem, the challenge, or whatever, but to seek the right answer, God answer, to that particular challenge or problem or whatever we might be facing. So it's not a matter of running away. It's a matter of standing firm where we are and opening consciousness from within. What would you have me to do? Ask. You can ask the question. Just as kind of a by thought here. A week ago Thursday, my basement flooded. It was all clean water, but it flooded. And it was clear up to the first step of my basement. I never had that happen before, thank God. I don't want it to happen again, thank God. However, World Day of Prayer was here, and I went home because my phones were out. Or I didn't know that they were out. I would call home. I've learned to call home when I'm on my way home because I'm on call at the hospital here, Crittenton. So I've learned to call home before I leave because there's been times that I got home and there was a call on my landline saying you're needed at the hospital, so I'd have to turn around come back, okay? Now, I only live 12 and a half miles from here, but nevertheless. So I tried to call home several times, and I got a busy signal, but it wasn't really a busy signal. It was kind of a fast busy signal. Told me something's not right. So I got home, tried to call home several times on my way home, and got home, and I thought, well, as most of you know, I have a kitty cat. She has never, ever, ever knocked the phone off the hook, never. But I thought, well, I have phones downstairs. Maybe she did. So when I got home, I looked upstairs. Both phones were on the hook, where they belonged, and I put the basement light on. My basement is finished. It's finished. I have furniture down there, whatever. So put the basement light on, took 2 steps down, and I looked, and it appeared that there was a inland lake that was carpeted. Hello. And so I just stood there. I could hardly believe my eyes. Well, anyway, so I thought, well, Father, I don't know what to do because I've never had this to do before. So I took steps back up to the kitchen, and thought came to me to call a handyman that has been doing some work for me this summer. So I called him to ask him what to do. And he said, because I thought, do I call a plumber? Do I call a restoration? What do I do? So he said, I'll be there within an hour. And I said, no, I'm not asking you to come. I'm only asking you to please tell me what I should do. He said, I'll be there within an hour. He came, put a sub pump. I do not have sub pump. Okay, put a sub pump in the downstairs. 3.5 hours later, I didn't have a lake. But the road has a lot of water in it, down. So then, the next day he came back with a wet vac. I guess it's a 5-gallon wet vac, and the carpet, whatever. Took 3 of those out, wet vacs out. 3 5-gallon, whatever, water. So, okay, now I'm thinking, thank you, Father. Everything is in divine order. It truly is in divine order. I don't know why this happened, but I do know that it's a matter of me stepping up to the plate. In other words, walk the talk. I've said this so often, we can talk the talk. We can talk truth. We can read books until we have piles like this, but are we really living it? And that's what came to me, okay? You need to walk the talk. God bless you. Anyway, so the next morning, I'm sitting. I always have my early meditation, and I started with, Father, I feel as though there's something more for me to do, except I don't know exactly what. But I know that you know, and I'm open and receptive. And it was not, I don't know, it was hardly no time at all. And the thought came to me, call Mary. Well, I want to tell you, the Monday before this happened, this experience, I was with a girlfriend in a restaurant on Woodward. And as we went up to pay, this gal in a booth was saying, hi, Donna. Donna, hi. And I turned around, and here was this gal that I had not seen or talked to for at least 8 years. At least 8 years. I said, oh, Mary, oh, what a nice surprise. So I went over and talked to her for a little bit, and she said to me, she has worked for a carpet company that does restoration. Okay, carpet cleaning, does restoration. And she said to me, if you ever need your carpet cleaned or anything, just call me. I said, okay. So I took her she said, you have my phone number? I said, probably, but I don't know, because several years ago, like I say, 8-10 years ago, she cleaned my carpet. Okay. So anyway, so that morning, call Mary. Oh, thank you, Father. So I called her. She was out in Mount Clemens at a fire job. She said, I will call Tim, which is co-owner of the company, and she said, he will call you in 10 minutes. He called. Saturday, he came with 6 air-moving, I don't know, they call them air-moving, they're like fans, but they're all enclosed, 6 of them, and 2 humongous, great big dehumidifiers, like this. Okay. Pulled all the furniture away from the walls, put them on styrofoam blocks, put the fans up, put the dehumidifier up, put it in the drain. You could see the water running going into the drain. He came Sunday to check. He came Monday to check. Tuesday he removed. He has a device that tells how far and how much moisture is still in the walls. Okay. It shows up. It just, he explained it to me. I thought, oh my goodness, this is something. So then, called a plumber, and this friend of mine, the handyman, called someone else that he works for. She said, I've tried many, many plumbers. She has rental property. Okay. This is the one I would suggest. I called. They came out within 2 hours. I had roots in my whatever, not pipes, but you know what I mean, roots. They put a camera, and I said, I think I'm gonna trade professions. This is pretty neat, except when he finished that. Nah, I don't think so. But anyway, so it's been cleaned out. So the insurance company that I have, the insurance through, paid all but about $340. So I said, God is so good all the time. Things just worked out, one thing right after the other. Okay. Now, I'm not a person that cries and screams and yells and kicks my, I don't do that. However, I hadn't thought about it, and the fellow from the carpet cleaning company, the restoration, he said to me, it's pretty nice working for you. I said, oh, thank you. Why? He said, well, a lot of women would be crying and just have an effect that this happened. I said, does it help? If you tell me how it helps, I can do that. I know how to. but why would we stir up more confusion? Why would we get into that mode where it's all negative? Okay? No. There is an orderly outworking of everything that we ever have to face. We just have to be open to be led. And I'm so grateful. And I thank our prayer team because I did. That was the first phone call that I made, was to our prayer team, to our silent prayer ministry. I'm fibbing to you. I called our secretary, and I said, please call. I have a flooded basement. Please call prayer ministry. And she did. And I know that within probably 10 minutes, I was being upheld in prayer with the idea that there was a divine outworking. Okay? A divine outworking. And our prayer ministry, you can either call here at the church or call me at home. My telephone number, and my phone is always working, except when it isn't, But anyway, my phone number is on my card, and I think there's some out in the narthex. But call, and within 10 minutes, I don't care what it is, within 10 minutes, you're being upheld in prayer, it doesn't matter what. It does not matter what. okay, what the problem may be. So anyway, so life is living, and life is lived from within out, as I said, okay? Yes, we do have challenges out here. Yes, we do. Things come to us. But it's up to us to handle it. Make a choice. Make a choice. How am I looking at this? How am I handling this? Hopefully it's in the very, very highest and best way. So anyway, I only share this with you because it was one more time, and I've had many wonderful demonstrations in my life. I share this with you because it's brand new. Okay, it's brand new. Yesterday, I was up at 5 o'clock, 10 minutes to 5 in the morning. I woke up at like 3 o'clock, and I'm thinking of things that I need to do downstairs. Okay? Finally got up at 5 o'clock, and I got dressed. I didn't shower, didn't do anything, washed my face, and I thought if anybody comes to the door, I'm not going to answer it. Went downstairs and began putting things together. One thing was destroyed, and that was someone many years ago gave me a teddy bear. Great big, we have one in the prayer room, big white teddy bear, and she was sitting on the floor, so she had a wet, you know what? So I couldn't. So anyway, I blessed her and put her out for the trash. But anyway, so this happened. It's brand new, and I want to share it with you only as to share with you a demonstration that we can, every one of us can cope with things when we make a decision how we're going to cope with it. We need to make that decision. How am I looking at this? What is mine to do here? Okay? And then ask for guidance. I'm open and receptive. Ask for guidance, and it'll come. It will most certainly come. So let's take a moment. And I'm just going to invite you to take this next couple of moments and Jesus said, if you believe in me, then follow. Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. What is the truth that you need to know about any situation, or perhaps about the present situation? And so, we're going to have the next couple of minutes just in the silence where you and your indwelling can communicate. You ask the question if that's what you need to do, and listen silently for the answer. Knowing that there is the right answer for you, for this particular challenge, opportunity, an opportunity to grow, to unfold. There's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. There's no one to fear. We put our trust in God, in that loving presence.